have a brand new image from Evil Dead Rise, the 5th installment in the Evil Dead franchise that I cannot wait for coming next year. Let's get into it.
Well, sometimes that is better.
Hey everybody, what's up? KillJoy Jake here, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. Today we're talking about a brand new image from Evil Dead Rise, the new upcoming Evil Dead film directed by Lee Cronin, who also did The Hole in the Ground. A new image has come out for the film, but first I want to talk a little bit about everything we know so far on the movie, which comes out on April 21st of next year, because some things have changed since the time that I made that everything you know about this kind of video. The official plot synopsis for Evil Dead Rise reads, in the 5th Evil Dead film, a road-weary Beth pays an overdue visit to her older sister Ellie, who is raising 3 kids on her own in a cramped LA apartment. The sisters' reunion is cut short by the discovery of a mysterious book deep in the bowels of Ellie's building, giving rise to flesh-possessing demons and thrusting Beth into a primal battle for survival as she is faced with the most nightmarish version of motherhood imaginable. Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, and Robert Tapert are producing Evil Dead Rise. According to Campbell, the 3 have been very involved in the project every step of the way. Unfortunately, Campbell will not be appearing as the boomstick-wielding Ash Williams in this film, but Evil Dead Rise will instead be a brand new movie with brand new characters and a brand new storyline. I've seen plenty of comments from people who said, no Ash, no Evil Dead, but in my opinion, one of the best Evil Dead movies is the Evil Dead remake. Deadites are fucking cool if Ash is there or Ash isn't. I love Ash as a character. He is, without a doubt, the best final guy to ever exist, but Bruce Campbell's done. He's retired the character after the awesome season 3 of Ash vs. the Evil Dead, which was a fantastic series, don't get me wrong, but I am excited to see the Evil Dead franchise continue past the Sam Raimi era, essentially with brand new filmmakers coming on board to do each individual movie. I kind of love the idea that Evil Dead's 4 and 5 essentially are little one-shot stories about Deadites in the Book of the Dead. I think that's really cool. And the change-up of the setting here to be in a cramped LA apartment is really interesting. Another thing that's wonderful about this brand new chapter for the Evil Dead franchise is that we are discovering a lot of other underground filmmakers. Before Evil Dead 2013, Fede Alvarez was not a big name in the horror industry at all. He had just done some short films with Rodo Saega as one of his most frequent collaborators. But they got brought on to do Evil Dead 2013, and now they are a huge staple in the horror genre, with movies such as the Don't Breathe movies and also the Texas Chainsaw Massacre continuation, remake, reboot, whatever the fuck, from earlier this year. I am personally a fan of all of those things. And The Hole in the Ground must have impressed Sam Raimi. I have yet to watch it still. I know I'm lacking. Sam Raimi once again handpicked this guy to direct the next installment in the franchise, so I feel like this is going to be the same old situation as what we got from 2013's Evil Dead. And I absolutely love that movie, so if this is anything even close to that, I am going to be completely blown away. That would be awesome. I love the Evil Dead franchise. It is one of my all-time favorite horror franchises, but that doesn't mean it's not without flaws. One of the biggest things that all 4 movies struggle with, in my opinion, well, maybe not so much Army of Darkness, but for the most part, every one of these movies that takes place at a cabin in the woods, it always kind of struggles to figure out a way to keep its characters trapped there. Like there's just nothing else around this little cabin in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. Being trapped in an apartment on like the 35th floor or something is a little different. You can't just get out of there. I mean, you can call for help theoretically, but I have a feeling the writers have also taken care of that here. I personally love this change, and it feels like a breath of fresh air for this franchise. I mean, I just don't think we can do another movie about Deadites at a cabin in the woods and all that again. I mean, we've already done that so many times in this franchise. It's cool that we're moving past that onto bigger and better things. That's really the only way you can keep a franchise fresh. You might as well just not do another movie if you're just gonna keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. But speaking of the absolutely legendary Bruce Campbell, he put out a tweet for us Deadite fans who were unable to make it to Bruce Fest these past couple of days, because it's still going on now, like December 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd. So if you can make it up to the Stanley Hotel, go on up. You might get some more Evil Dead Rise information. Who knows? Bruce Campbell put out a tweet saying, for the Deadites who weren't able to make it to Bruce Fest this year, I'm very excited to share this shot of the family from Evil Dead Rise. See them come together or be torn apart only in theaters April 21st. Little side note, by the way, the Stanley Hotel is fucking gorgeous. I got to go there all the way back in 2020, and it was a lot of fun. It was so cool to see the hotel that inspired Stephen King to write The Shining. I mean, that is fucking legendary right there. Also, I want to talk about Bruce Fest for a minute, because this is a crazy film festival hosted by Bruce Campbell and Ted Raimi in this hilarious promo picture. We're going to be playing a bunch of Bruce Campbell hits, including Bubba Hotep, and also some episodes from Ash vs. the Evil Dead. I think that's really fucking cool personally, and I'm super jealous of anyone who gets to go to this thing. Hopefully you get some more images too. But speaking of an image we already have, let's talk about this image of the whole family. Now, I am pretty face blind, but I think I got this one correct. We have the characters of Cassie, Jessica, Bridget, Beth, and Ellie all here in this picture together. Going back to that plot description I just read for you guys, I do think that in this picture we are seeing Ellie possibly transform into a Deadite. Because don't forget, Beth is the sister that shows up to reconvene her relationship with her sister Ellie, who has 3 kids in this very cramped LA apartment. So I think it would be pretty funny if Ellie was the first one. Okay, not funny, let's rephrase that. It would be pretty interesting to see Ellie become the first person to become a Deadite. Therefore, Beth would have to take care of the kids, keep them safe, while also fighting Deadites. That would make for a super crazy movie. Maybe some of the other tenants in the building are also becoming Deadites because of something they read in the Book of the Dead. But I want to reference the plot description one more time because it ends with thrusting Beth into a primal battle for survival as she is faced with the most nightmarish version of motherhood imaginable. Considering that we also just got this picture of Deadite Ellie, I think that's basically where the plot of this movie is going to go. They're probably going to somehow get Ellie outside of the apartment and then lock the door, and then she's going to be banging on it, and it'll basically be like the cellar from the first movie. Do I have a problem with that though? Absolutely not, because this is a very fresh and original way to essentially do the same thing. So like all our characters are trying to plot and plan while this Deadite is banging on the door trying to get in, yelling a bunch of obscenities. I have no issue with that. Let me tell you, that is as Evil Dead as you can possibly fucking get, baby. Hail to the king! All of these images also make me question if we're going to be playing with the rules that the Book of the Dead has, essentially, like how to transform someone back into a human from a Deadite. Because considering that we're on the 35th whatever floor of like a high-rise building, we're not going to be able to bury anybody in dirt. We are very far away from dirt in this movie. Now, obviously, that's not the only way to take care of a Deadite. You can also cut off all of their limbs, as we've learned in the movies, too. But that would mean that Ellie has to die. And don't forget, she has 3 kids. That would be a pretty sad death. Now, there's a lot of sad deaths in the franchise. I'm not saying they're not going to kill Ellie at some point in a very vicious way, but once again, she's got 3 kids. There's going to be an emotional angle to this story, and I'm sure Beth is going to be searching through every single page and word of that book, trying to make things right and bring Ellie back to the land of the living. How will they do that, though? It does make me very curious. But once again, messing with rules, definitely something I feel like we're gonna see in this movie, and I'm fine with that. This is a brand new storyline, brand new timeline, brand new everything, like we said earlier. So if we want to fuck with some of that stuff, I'm okay with that here. It also appears as if the character of Bridget has a phone in their hand, and I'm not 100% sure if that's going to have some kind of like plot importance or something, because once again, don't forget, our characters could call for help theoretically, so we're gonna have to find some way to work around that so that the police don't just show up and save the day. Unless that's the route that this movie is going. I don't know, I haven't seen it yet. But I'm also assuming that maybe there's going to be some kind of struggle to get Ellie outside of the apartment, as she's going to be a Deadite trying to kill all of them, so I'd imagine that maybe a phone gets broken in the midst of all of this. That could be kind of cool. Maybe their phones are somehow outside of the apartment at another area, because don't forget that plot description, once again, they find the Book of the Dead all the way in the bowels of this apartment building. I don't know what kind of bowels we're talking about here, but I'm excited to see us explore them. I am just stupid excited for Evil Dead Rise. I mean, this movie looks really good to me, and once again, I think all 4 of the Evil Dead movies are on their own just total masterpieces for totally different reasons. I don't expect anything less from this movie, and I'm really thinking it's gonna be good. I can't fucking wait for it on April 21st of 2023, but what do you guys think? Are you excited for this movie, or like, not so much? Why did you watch this far into the video if you're not excited for Evil Dead Rise? Did you want to just see a guy in an orange hoodie scream at you for like however many minutes this video is going to be? Leave me something about it in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this brand new Evil Dead Rise video. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, do all of that stuff because it makes old Jake here pretty happy. Get yourself a limited edition red right hand shirt while you still can. You only have 19 days to get one of these puppies and then they're gone forever. Please consider supporting me on Patreon or becoming a channel member as well. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.